kind of sucks that your total daily energy expenditure and BMR reduce significantly when you lose weight. So you have to decrease so much. I think my body is just finished losing at this point. Honestly, my goal may be too low, but I'm only about 6 pounds away, but I cannot lose even 2 more pounds. It seems without restricting severely, exercising a lot more. I'm already eating the bare minimum recommended and exercise at least 2 to 2.5 hours per day. All right, so this is an anonymous member, so I can't tell their gender. I'm assuming based off of they're eating the bare minimum that they are going to be a female. It doesn't really matter because if they're a male eating the bare minimum, which is just higher than female, but usually females are going to be eating less. So I'm just assuming, we'll see if that comes into play because I'm literally first time thinking about this. I took a screenshot, but I haven't thought through these answers before. So first, I sympathize with this person. If this is you and you feel like your body's just done losing at this point, that's not true. Now, it might not be healthy. I'm not necessarily saying that you always can lose, but you always can lose. Just look at people who are starving. You're not as skinny as them. So I promise it is still possible if you lose. So don't feel hopeless. Honestly, my goal may be too low, but I'm only about 6 pounds away. So if they are 6 pounds away, that means that it's the last little bit of fat. The last little bit of fat is the hardest to lose by far. That's why it's always called stubborn belly fat or stubborn thigh fat or whatever, because it's the last little bit of fat. It's the first place it goes, the last place it leaves. It's also whenever you need to be in the lowest calorie deficit, not like the biggest calorie deficit, but like the lowest calories. You will be at the end of your journey eating the lowest calories, and you'll probably be at the end of your journey doing the most movement. And they say they can't lose even 2 more pounds. It seems that restricting severely, exercising a lot more. Now, here's where I would, be wanting to dive into this person's situation. I'm already eating the bare minimum recommended. What is that? Is it actually the bare minimum? Are we logging our food? Do you think you're eating 1,200 calories? You're actually eating 1,500 calories? That would give us a little bit of wiggle room. Not that I want them eating less necessarily. And they say they exercise at least 2 to 2.5 hours per day. Is that 7 days a week? Do you do that 3 times a week? If that's 7 days a week, I don't believe that. Not many people physically can exercise 2 to 2.5 hours per day. They would crash and burn. It's just too energy exhausting. So I would want to know, is that just like a stroll around your neighborhood? That is certainly a great place, to be, but could we reduce the time commitment and increase the intensity on some of that? So let's say you walk for 30 minutes or a day around your neighborhood, and then an additional 30 minutes is more of like an incline treadmill walk or something. That would be a great thing to do. Or could you weightlift 4 times a week and then do the treadmill walking right after that? Now you're getting muscle. Maybe this person doesn't have a whole lot of muscle. And so we can build muscle, we can spare that muscle, we can increase their TDEE, as they said up there at the very top of this comment. So there's lots of things that I would do, but I would first start to look at their weightlifting regimen, making sure they have enough muscle. I would be making sure, I didn't mention this, but I would be making sure they had enough protein in their diet, that they were eating enough to begin with, and maybe we just simply need a diet break and we're just going to be there for a while doing a little bit of cardio. Then once they had a long enough diet break, I would make sure all those three things stayed, and then we would add in cardio, or we'd add in more cardio and more steps, making sure that with an increased metabolism again, let the metabolism heal a little bit. There is some metabolic adaptation that happens. It's not nearly as much as people give it credit for usually, but once the metabolism recovers a little bit and they have maybe built a little bit more muscle, this might be 6 months later, but you have to remember they're only 6 pounds away. In this case, if you're stuck and you're like 30 pounds away, you probably don't have to take 6 months to build, all this stuff. You probably just need to take a break for like 8 weeks. And I know that might not be what you want to hear, but I promise if you take a break for 8 weeks and hop back on it and feel refreshed and you start losing weight again, wouldn't that have been worth it? I promise this is the way to do it, is to slow it down and be a little bit more patient. And if you feel completely stuck, start being honest with yourself. That it kind of hurts whenever we realize, oh, I was wrong. Or, some people take it as I'm saying, some of my clients I've trained for 10 years. And it kind of comes across as like, are you saying that I'm lying? It's like, no, I'm not saying you're lying. This should be encouraging for you to find out, oh, I'm actually eating 1,500 calories. How cool is that? That I wasn't at 1,200 calories and now I could go down to 1,400 calories. Like I do have some wiggle room. Instead of feeling hopeless. Or, oh, I'm not actually working out 2.5 hours every single day, 7 days a week. I'm only doing that, once a month. And outside of that, it's really like 30 minutes of exercise, and the rest is just me kind of moving, and I'm counting maybe they're counting vacuuming as exercise. And if I tell them, hey, that's not really exercise, then that should be encouraging. to discover, oh, there is room for improvement here. I have never met a person that's actually capped out. So I want you to feel encouraged by that. Not once have I ever seen a person that's actually eating as little as they can and actually moving as much as they can. Now, I don't want you eating as little as you can. So that's why there's all this nuance to building muscle and giving it a diet break and all that stuff. So if you have any questions about that, put them down in the comments. But that is how I would fix the situation. I have an awesome free resource for you that is called the 30-Day Shape Up Challenge. It's 30 days of 4 habits that I run my clients through that is going to help you get a great start to your fat loss journey. And there's a bonus 5th habit in case you fall off the wagon at all. All my clients love it and it's free. So just scan this QR code here or click the link in the description and I'll send that straight to your email.